Hi everyone! We'll be talking about the famous economic theorist. Sorry, the wrong clip. There we go. Adam Smith.
Adam Smith was a Scottish philosopher and economist who is best known as the author of An Inquiry into the Nature and Cause of the Wealth of Nations, one of the most influential books ever written. Smith was born in Kirkcaldy, Fife in Scotland, and baptized on June 16, 1723. This has often been treated as if it was his date of birth, which was unknown. His father died 2 months after his birth, and he was raised by his widowed mother, Margaret Douglas. At age of 14, he went to the University of Glasgow and studied moral philosophy, during which he developed a passion for liberty, reason, and free speech. Later, he attended Balliol College at Oxford, graduating with an extensive knowledge of European literature.
However, in his books, Adam Smith expressed that the time at Oxford gave little if any help towards what was to be his life work, and that teaching at Glasgow was much more superior. He only enjoyed studying on his own and reading books from the Bodleian Library, and left Oxford University in 1746. The reason why Smith was dissatisfied with Oxford's teaching was probably due to the absence of his beloved teacher in Glasgow, Francis Hutcheson, who was one of the most prominent lecturers at the time. His lectures aimed to make students embody the philosophy in their lives rather than merely teach philosophy. Hutcheson was definitely Smith's influential mentor and was referred to as the never-to-be-forgotten Hutcheson by Adam Smith. Smith spent his years after university teaching. In 1751, Smith earned a professorship at Glasgow teaching logic courses, then was elected a member of the Philosophical Society of Edinburgh the next year. In 1753, Smith took over the position of the head of moral philosophy. After he wrote the book, The Theory of Moral Sentiments, many students came to enroll at Glasgow University to learn under Smith. Since then, Smith began to give more attention to economics in his lectures and less to his theories of morals. After that, Smith started traveling and tutoring around the world as interests, during which he met several great intellectual leaders of the time who had an effect on his future works. Smith retired to his birthplace and wrote The Wealth of Nations, which was published in 1776. Smith never got married, and he passed away in Edinburgh on July 19, 1790. So what exactly makes Adam Smith so important? Well, Adam Smith is most well known for the idea of the invisible hand that he developed in his 1776 book, The Wealth of Nations. He argued for the private ownership of capital and for free trade uninhibited by government policy. Smith assumed that individuals try to maximize their own good and become wealthier, and by doing so through trade and market exchange, society as a whole is better off. Furthermore, any government intervention in the economy isn't needed because the invisible hand is the best guide for the economy. And here comes the next question: how the theory would impact society. Adam Smith's invisible hand theory suggests that the society should encourage individuals to maximize their own utilities by minimizing government intervention. One interesting fact about the theory is that Adam Smith never mentioned the term laissez-faire, however created by French economists, while his arguments were the very foundation of the laissez-faire capitalism. In English, this is called let go, which means that the market outcome should not be monitored by anyone. The idea of the invisible hand probably had the most crucial effect on the capitalist economy. Consumers decide what to buy and what not to buy, and at what prices the exchanges are acceptable. Producers then compete with one another to provide the goods and services to make profits. The scarce resources are continuously redeployed to maximize efficiency. The invisible hand also encourages innovations, as competitors consistently seek ways to maximize productivity and leads to higher standard of living in the society.
Here comes down to two important quotes said by Adam Smith. The first one demonstrates its importance because the whole society is based upon trade and exchange, and every individual is motivated by their self-interest, which is essentially the idea of invisible hand. The second one shows its importance because the ability of a transaction is embedded in human nature. It is that the whole species who pushed forward the concept of economy and built a world based on the fundamental concept of that. The connection between the current global issue and the concept of the invisible hand can be demonstrated by 2 points. First, the price floor. A price floor exists when the price is artificially held above the equilibrium price and it is not allowed to fall. A price ceiling occurs when the price is artificially held below the equilibrium price and it is not allowed to rise. One of the examples of price ceiling is black market. When price ceiling is set for a certain good, the price will be lower than the equilibrium price, resulting in a shortage since the quantity demanded is more than quantity supplied. The reason being that the suppliers might lack resources or not willing to produce the good at that price. Then, to alleviate the shortage, black markets come into place. Black markets are the illegal business of buying and selling goods in violation of restrictions. For instance, some people will buy the good and the price of price ceiling and resell the good with a higher price to people who are willing to pay more. This is a problem caused by the government setting price ceilings, which is why Adam Smith suggested that the invisible hand is the best guide for the economy.
Here's how it works at it. And thanks for watching. Bye!